y'all, Mandy here, the Sleep Nana, coming at you guys with my 2-week post-op update. I'm going to jump right in. So I had VSG surgery on June the 23rd, 2020 at CAMC General in Charleston, West Virginia with Dr. Rossi. I am 44 years old, 5 foot 4 inches, and these notes are going to come in handy now. Last week, no, let's do that different. My high weight was 259.2. My surgery weight, by my scale, not the doctor's, was 247.6. Last week, I came in at 239.8, which was a 7.8 loss. Excuse me. For the week, today, my 2-week post-op, I weighed in at 230.2. I am pretty psyched about that because that is a 9.6 loss for the week, guys. Yeah, I'll take that. So that means that in the 2 weeks since surgery, I've had a total loss of 17.4 pounds. Excuse me. 25 pounds since I started my pre-op diet, and 29 pounds lost since my high weight. So that's pretty good. I mean, I'm not trying to ring my own bell or nothing, but hey, ding ding. I'm not conceited like that, y'all. I mean, this is work, and you all that have already had the surgery, you know. And we should be proud of ourselves. That's just me. Okay, so a little bit of what I've experienced this week. So Friday, I thought, well, let me back up to Thursday, I think it was. Yeah, Thursday. I was feeling good. My energy level felt, better than it had been since surgery. Friday morning, woke up, still felt pretty energetic, and I thought, well, I'm going to go to the grocery store, get some groceries. So we, as in me and my husband, ventured off to Walmart, and I say that because it is an adventure. Got there, had our masks on, the whole nine, waited in line to be let in, done our grocery shopping, and y'all, the masks here in West Virginia are now mandatory. As of yesterday at 6 p.m., our governor made that announcement. I don't know how I'm going to handle that, because when we got in Walmart Friday, look, I lasted all of 5 minutes in that damn mask before I took it off. Like, I for real could not breathe. So I guess that's something I'm going to have to get used to. But anyway, we went through the grocery store, got everything we needed, and towards the end of our list, I could feel myself starting to wind down. I took me some water in. I okayed it with the little girl at the door. I shouldn't say little girl. It's a bad habit. I know they probably hate that. I mean, clearly she's old enough to work there. But anyway, and I had set a reminder, like a timer on my Fitbit, for every 10 minutes to sip on my water. So I was good with that. But I could feel myself starting to wind down. What I didn't do was I didn't take any Jell-O, pudding, applesauce, or anything like that from the house. Because I really wasn't expecting us to be gone as long as we were. The grocery store was a little more crowded than I anticipated, and it was just an oversight on my part because it was the 3rd of the month. It was a Friday, and it was also the day before a holiday that people, barbecue for. So it was a little crazy. But anyway, I could feel myself winding down. So we left there and came straight home. My husband had to go help his dad with something, so I told him it was fine. I would get the groceries put away. So my son helped me do that, and I sat down and rested. Y'all, I was just like, I don't know, I crashed. So I took a little short nap. He came home, we watched a movie, got in bed a little late. Saturday, I did what I could around the house, still feeling a little tired and sluggish, and I thought, well, I'll just, hydrate. And we usually have barbecue here on the 4th of July, but I just wasn't up to it this year. So my daughter called, and my youngest daughter, and we went to her house. They were going to cook out and let off some fireworks at dark. So my husband, he's outside working on, it's not a carport because it's not covering a car. It's the same concept of a carport, but it's covering the camper. So whatever you want to call that, a shed for the camper, I don't know. But he was outside working on that with our son, and his dad came up to help. And all day I was just felt really sluggish, and I thought, I hate not to go because my grandson was so excited because we were going to come down and watch his fireworks. And so I thought, well, I'll just rest and just do little things around the house throughout the day and conserve some energy. Excuse me. Okay, and so she called a few times throughout the day to check on me and to see if we were coming. And at one point my husband had came in the house for something, and he answered the phone, and he told her that we would come down and watch the fireworks with Mason, but we would probably skip out on the barbecuing part because he was outside working. But I know what it really was. He just was thinking that it's probably easier for me not to be around the food, like in the thick of it, while it's being cooked. And y'all know them smells that food puts off. Oh, my mouth watered just a little bit just now. Which was really sweet of him. And he don't mind leftovers or, eating later. So that's what we did. We waited until later, until it cooled off. Because that's another thing too I've been trying to be really mindful of is being outside in the heat right now, because I'm not taking in a lot of fluids. And just trying not to sweat out what I am taking in, because you all, I'm really tried to be extra careful with my hydration, because I do not want to end up back in the hospital on IVs due to dehydration. So that's something for, you ought to keep in mind. So we went down after darkening. It cooled off a little, and he got him a little plate, and my daughter had made for him, and took inside, and she heated up, and we were sitting there around, like they have a really large yard on the side of the house, and they had chairs, circled around like a half moon shape on one side of where they were letting off fireworks towards, like they were going off towards the hill and the creek and all that. And I'm like, I'm kind of paranoid about things anyway. I suffer from anxiety, but even still, like, I don't know, it just, even my husband like kind of raised the eyebrow, and I was like, we need to scoot these chairs back. And I was like, well, that's what I was thinking. But there's, like 12 people are sitting around already, and I'm like, but are we going to be those people that says that? And he's like, let's just sit down, I guess. So that we did. Thought I just heard someone outside my house. And so we're sitting there, and I have my little cup of Jello and my big cup of water that I took. And I don't know if y'all have seen that video on, I think it's actually a YouTube video. Google it, or not Google it, just search it on YouTube if you haven't. It's called, just type in, put it in reverse Terry. Because that's the kind of moment that I had. My son-in-law, he's lighting the fireworks, and all of a sudden he just yells, move, and like, run, and everybody gets up and moving, and I'm like, I can't move that fast. So my husband gets up, he sees, what's going on. The firework that my son-in-law had lit was a dud, and nobody knew what it was going to do. So in my husband's effort to get up and kind of shield me, he trips and falls the other way. So I'm just kind of sitting there with my Jello still in hand, y'all. I never dropped that Jello. Or pudding, I think it was. It was one or the other. But anyway, I held on to that and was just kind of shielding myself. And I was just like, okay, I know how Terry felt, And so that happened. And so we didn't stay for very much longer after that. And everybody decided then to back the chairs up some. But we came home, watched a movie again, got in bed a little late. And I don't know if it was just too much excitement for me over the weekend, which makes me sound really old. But it's not. It's just totally from lack of energy right now due to lack of calories. But y'all, Sunday, like, it was everything I could do to keep my eyes open. I slept. When I tell you I slept the majority of the day, I'm not exaggerating. And then after my husband left for work, because he works night shift, I went straight upstairs and went to bed and slept all night. And I'm just like, what the, like, this is so unlike me. So I'm just calling it for what it is. It's lack of energy due to lack of calories, and that's all I know. That, and your body requires extra energy to heal after surgeries and things. So that was my weekend in a nutshell. And also Saturday, leading up to the fireworks show, I was struggling with some feelings of depression. Now, I'm on medication for depression and anxiety. And so going in, I knew that was something that people, it's pretty common for people to experience, but I thought, it's fine. Excuse me. I'm already medicated for that, so it's all good. It won't, that won't happen to me. So it kind of caught me off guard when it did happen, but it was different in the sense that, and I actually think that was like the second time that I had felt those kinds of feelings of just like, ugh, it was different in the sense that the feelings came and went fairly quickly. Whereas, my personal struggle, I know everyone's different, with depression, when I have a bout of depression, like, it'll linger for days, sometimes weeks. So this was different in that sense. I'm not sure if, Saturday in particular, if it was just all the talking about, barbecues and knowing that I couldn't have that food, and a little I don't know, separation anxiety, if that's even the right word. Just missing out, which also kind of caught me off guard because I didn't feel like even going in that I had that kind of relationship with food. I really didn't think that that would be a struggle for me. Now, overall, it's not been a big struggle for me. I mean, sure, I'll go into the kitchen to, and I may have to move leftover slices of pizza that my son left in there to get to, my sugar-free Jell-O. And, I mean, for that split second, I'll be like, oh. But then it's gone. It's over. Like, I'm over it. Or a commercial on TV, or just, and I feel like those things are fairly normal. That's common. That doesn't mean that, I necessarily had a food addiction, and I don't feel that I did, or still don't, rather. But just some little things that caught me off guard, that just, I guess, kind of reminded me like, hey, yeah, you might not, have ever woke up thinking about food or thought about food all day or used food to cope for different reasons, but it reminded me of that natural human food connection and desire for different things, and just like, and y'all, I am so ready for the pureed stage. It sounds weird to even call it real food, but at this point, something put in that food processor would just totally feel like real food to me. And so I revisited the coffee thing, and I'm doing okay with that. Stella finally got on board. I don't know if I mentioned that in a previous video or not, but she's okay with some coffee now, thank God. But I go in, and in the cabinet where I have like coffee filters, I have a Keurig, but when I run out of K-cups, I just cut up. I have some of the cone coffee filters. I just kind of cut it and then put it down in my little filter and use my regular coffee. And so in my cabinet where I have those things, I had like me a little space for just my stuff. Like, had my little coffee filters, my PB2, some protein something another, and a few boxes of sugar-free Jell-O. And I thought, okay, this will be my little space. And even in the fridge, I have just like just a little tiny space, And so I go in there and I open up the cabinet to get, I'm just wanting a coffee filter. And lo and behold, as soon as I open the cabinet, there sits a bag of potato chips staring me right in the face. And y'all, I don't know if you've ever experienced, how like, when you like salivate, whatever the right word is for that. Y'all, I could feel it back in here, like in my jaws. And my mouth started watering, and I was like, without even touching that bag, I kid you not, I could smell the potato chips. And I was like, I'm going to wring his freaking neck at that split second, meaning my son. And then I thought, okay, no, Mandy, just reel it back in, move the chips, get your filter, have your coffee, keep it moving. Because I didn't explain to my son, this is my area, so I won't wring his neck until he does it after the fact. So, speaking of, here he comes. I'm YouTubing. You want to say hi? I'm talking about you and your damn potato chips in my area of the cabinet. Yeah, okay. So, all right, y'all. So that happened. And so the head hunger. has been real. And like I said, I didn't think that that was something that I was going to deal with, because prior to surgery, food commercials never fazed me. My kids sitting around with whatever never fazed me. I could look right at something and not touch it, as far as sweet things go. I'm more of a salty, spicy snack kind of person. And one thing that has helped is that I'm kind of the only one in the house that does prefer those things. My son likes buffalo chicken dip, which I made for him yesterday, which was kind of hard making without being able to taste. He didn't complain, so I guess it was okay. So, and something else that I seen on a different video yesterday was a doctor talking about how some patients say that they experience hunger early on, which I have said that I felt that I was hungry. And my family members that have had, oh, here he comes with a Slim Jim. Y'all, I'm going to stab this little dude with this pen. Now, let me stop. Now, I don't expect them not to eat, but okay. Reeling it in again. He stuck the whole thing in his mouth and tiptoed by. Okay, so on this video, I can't remember the doctor's name now. Okay, I'm not even going to try because my mind doesn't work that way. Anyway, he says that all the inflammation that, you know, is present after such a major surgery can sometimes send a signal to your brain that will mimic a hunger signal. And he said that's, you know, that with trying to prevent GERD, acid reflux, heartburn, all that jazz is why most surgeons have their patients on something like Prilosec, for example, for, you know, an allotted amount of time after surgery. And I have been on Prilosec. Well, my doctor has actually like rotated me from Prilosec to another one that I can't think of the name of right now, periodically, just so that, kind of like so that my body wouldn't get used to one and it would be ineffective. But I've been on Prilosec for about a year or so, because I told her, like, you know, let's just, you know, I'd rather just try this because my insurance stopped paying for the other one. I said, no, just see how it goes, because she was actually going to just up the dose. And so I was like, no, I'll try this, and then if I need it upped, I'll call you, because I hate taking medication, guys, but if I have to, I, you know, before I suffer, I will. And I've been on those types of medications for a very long time, and one of the things that I've been so looking forward to was being able to stop the acid blockers. And so since surgery, there's been a few days where, you know, I hadn't taken it, and I felt okay. And then I thought, well, I'm really not eating any real foods either. But then my husband reminded me, he said that never mattered before. And then I thought, well, no, you know what, you're right, because when I would do intermittent fasting, and I even cut spicy foods out of my diet for a while to see if that would help, I still suffered from the heartburn. I have ulcers, GERD, I mean, y'all, I'm a mess in there. Like IBS, just, you know, and so, I mean, it was so bad to the point to where, like, I would take the medication at the same time every day, and if I was like an hour and a half to 2 hours late, I would start having that burning sensation. So that's how bad it was. And I thought, well, maybe, the hernia repair that Dr. Rossi did while he was in there and at it has helped. But whenever I seen that video and he was talking about, the doctor on YouTube was talking about that hunger sensation, I started putting the Prilosec back in my rotation. So that's something that, you might, for those of you that are pre-op and feel like you're experiencing some hunger sensations, contact your doctor and ask about that. But if your surgeon has already, put you on those types of medications, I recommend taking them just for that reason, because it sucks to feel hungry and not be able to eat. So there's that. And one last thing I wanted to touch on is, actually three things. I'll get it right. Two of the things kind of go hand in hand. Constipation and gas. Okay. I never thought I'd be on YouTube talking about constipation and gas. But hey, we're adults. It's a bodily function. It is what it is. I've had one slight little trip to the bathroom since surgery that really didn't feel like it was, amount to anything, but at the same time, I'm really not taking in much for it to amount to anything. But I've kind of had that feeling in my belly like I needed to, but I can't. So 2 nights ago, I started doing the the stool softeners that I was doing pre-op. I started using those again before bed. Still nothing happened yet. Yesterday, after several days of just feeling bloated, like my belly feeling bloated, but not really experiencing any gas pains like I did in the beginning, it was like out of nowhere yesterday evening. I started feeling the gas pains like in my shoulder and up my neck and in my shoulder bone, like my backbone, whatever. Shoulder blade area. I'll get it out right. And y'all, it was so uncomfortable. I was rubbing on it. My husband rubbed it. I put heating pad on it. And finally I said, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to go to bed and maybe I'll sleep this off. Because it was late and he was leaving for work anyway. So I went to bed, and I know y'all seen my boppy pillow on my, well, if you didn't, you might not have. My boppy pillow that I took to the hospital. Y'all, that thing has been a lifesaver. I've kind of just like slept on it, like under that part of my neck and shoulder that was hurting. And it gave me some relief, and I went right to sleep. It's just kind of like a oversized travel neck pillow, and I like it better, especially in the hospital, because like I was more comfortable sleeping upright, and it was like larger to where, my head just barely tilted and I didn't deal with stiff neck. So so that happened, and I wasn't expecting. I thought I was past the gas pains is what I guess I'm trying to get at. And one more thing, and I will wrap this up because this video has went on way longer than what I anticipated. Belly binder. Talk to your surgeon about it first. Of course, this one, I already need to wash it. I had it on yesterday with a black t-shirt. I got this one, or my husband went and picked it up for me after my cousin telling me that I should get one. He went to just Walgreens. It's just a basic belly support, Velcro. I think he said he paid around $30 for this one. So I've been using it, and it does help tremendously, guys. It just makes me feel like I'm more supported and kind of upright especially when I'm up doing things like the dishes or folding laundry or something, and when I'm asleep or when I'm laying down in the bed, and because I'm a side sleeper, y'all. If you're a side sleeper, you've got to get one of these. I did find it on Amazon, and I think the one on Amazon even is a little taller, which I think I'll probably like better. And it was cheaper on there. I'm thinking it was like 23, 24 bucks. If I can remember, I'll link it below, but if I forget, which I'm known to do, just type in surgical abdominal binder and you'll see them. But for you side sleepers, look, this is it right here, because it makes me feel like I'm not going to hurt anything in there, I guess. And it was actually kind of painful for me to sleep on my right side. But with this, like, it's not an issue. I roll over in my sleep, get up to go to the restroom in the middle of the night with this on, and it doesn't faze me. It helps with the pain, and and I think that this might even be what has helped the bloat in my belly go down some, and for that gas to kind of move that I had in my shoulder. Because I mean, it's going to move and it's going to come up or down, and so yesterday it just happened to be trying to come up, and I really think that this played a part in that. As uncomfortable as it was, it needs to come out. So I recommend y'all getting one of these. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I have been yapping for about 32 minutes, it looks like now. But thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell, and you'll know whenever I post another video. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Take care.